Okay, good afternoon. Greg Edwards here from the North Adelaide Football Club with one of our new players, new recruits this season, Jordie McKenzie. Welcome to the Roosters, Jordie.
Thanks very much, Greg.
Great to have you on board, and we had the pleasure of meeting Jordie's parents last week. I've got to tell you, mate, there's definitely half of you and your mother and half of you and your father. Would that be fair comment?
A mixer? Yeah, absolutely. Get that comment a bit.
Well, Jordie, just update everyone. Jordie played 79 games for the Melbourne Football Club from 09 through to 15. Was picked up in the rookie draft in 2009, picked number 1. Now, I heard, just before we go on, mate, I did hear a rumour that the Crows were pretty close to picking you up at one stage. Is that correct? Whilst you were at Melbourne?
Yeah. Well, probably going into the draft, I had the most interest from the Crows, and that continued on a little bit. Yeah, early days at Melbourne. But yeah, I loved my time at Melbourne, and was more than happy to stay there. Made some great friends, and it was a pretty easy decision to stay on at the D's.
And that was by Neil Craig too. So I assume Neil Craig was at Melbourne later as well.
Yeah.
But he was at the Crows when the initial interest was there.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, and we had a great relationship with Craigie when he came over to the D's, and then coached. I think it might have been the last 8 to 10 games one year, and we improved. It was a tough year as a whole, but we improved a lot in that back end of the year. And he was great for the morale of the boys, and yeah, it was good to play under him.
And that was back when your housemate, of course, good mate Mitch Clisby, was over there. I think Craigie played him in every game while he was there.
Yep.
And as soon as the coach changed, Mitch's life changed.
Yeah, Mitch was, I think he played really well on debut and for the rest of that season when Craigie was in charge, and it was, especially I remember that debut, I think he might have had 25 touches, so obviously, as you know, very good player, so looking forward to playing with him again.
Yeah, no, it must be great back in Adelaide actually with you, of course. So I know you're good mates.
Yeah.
And mate, from what I've seen, and we've been impressed with your time in Melbourne, was as an inside mid, often tagging the opposition's best player. Now, I'm pretty sure that I'm right in saying this, but when they did the following around of Gary Ablett, was that you hanging out of the back of his pocket that day?
Yeah, I was a bit nervous going into that one, so that was actually under Craigie that game too, so I've been playing a little bit of reserves leading into it, but got the call up and got the big job on little Gaz, so yeah, I think it might have been his 250th, so I thought, oh geez, he could turn one on here, but it was a good battle, so it was a good challenge, and as well as playing against some of the other big names, it was the eye-opening experience. You had to pinch yourself all the time, run around them and try to sort of minimise their influence as much as possible, but yeah, good challenge every time.
I was going to ask you, I remember watching that game actually on TV. My young fella and myself were watching it, and it was interesting because you were obviously in the TV screen as often as everyone else, because Gary had his own TV camera on him all that day. But just on playing the really good players, like I know obviously we follow Richmond in our house, but watching you stand the Cotchins and the Pendleburys and those, the challenges must have been huge. I mean, they're super quality.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you sort of tackle each one on their own sort of individual merit. They've all got their different strengths, some more inside, some more outside. So a lot of preparation goes into it, a lot of vision. I used to like to watch a lot of vision leading into each game, and then I'd go in, with the confidence that I'm fully prepared, and it won't be through lack of preparation or effort if it doesn't come off. Yep. So we go in with a clear and concise plan, and often you get some good help at times from teammates. So there's a bit of often you call it a bit of a team tag. So get some good help, and I found the games that were really competitive and or winning, it definitely does help your individual role, same as a lot of other individual roles all over the ground. So it's no different there, but as I said before, it's a great challenge to get them roles. Yeah.
No, we saw plenty of those games, and one of the things that interested us when you came across for the first time to have a chat to us was you're deceptively tall. I assume you'd be 189. I suppose, 188, 189, so 6'2", a bit over 6'2" in the old language. For us in the SANFL, you're a tall midfielder. In the AFL, of course, most of the people you stood the Pendleburys and those. A lot of them are taller than you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you might have given me a couple extra centimetres there, but I'll claim them. But yeah, no,
I must be shrinking.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, but yeah, as you said, you get a real mixed bag. But yeah, like Pendlebury for one, Judd was another one that stood out. And it's not too sort of where you go out and stand, you realise, gee, these blokes are, they're a solid size. So at times, yeah, it did help, and to have that little bit of extra height. And then, yeah, you just sort of try and play to your strengths, whatever they are, and yeah.
Good on it, mate. Well, look, at the end of the day, we'll talk about North now, but to come out of the AFL with over 17 average disposals and over 5 tackles, I mean, it was a fantastic effort. So again, welcome, congratulations on your AFL career to date, because it may or may not continue, of course. As I said, we met Mum and Dad last week. Warrnambool, just out of Warrnambool, I think is the home territory.
Yeah, so Terang. Yeah,
Terang.
So about half an hour out of Warrnambool, so it's a pretty small country town, but yeah, footy very rich in those small communities back in Victoria. So nice small town, and get back there when I can.
Well, mate, Adelaide would feel a lot more comfortable than Melbourne, I would have thought,
Yeah,
coming out of
absolutely.
Warrnambool. Now, mate, you're at North Adelaide. Why North Adelaide? How do you like it so far, and how have you seen Josh Carr and Brad Dodd and the coaching structure?
Yeah, I've been enjoying it, greatly so far. Had a good block before lead up to Christmas of pre-season, so I haven't really missed a beat. And then obviously a couple of weeks since Christmas as well, where we've been continuing to ramp it up. So the SANFL's always appealed to me over the years. I've got a lot of mates that played in the SANFL who are at Melbourne currently and came back to the SANFL, just like Mitch Clisby. So you get an understanding of how big the competition is and how good quality it is. So I thought it'd be a great challenge to come over here, and as you said before, good mates with Mitch Clisby and with Josh Carr and Brad Dodd coming on board as well. Obviously, with their history, they've got a lot of knowledge between both of them, and especially in the midfield area. So I thought it's a great opportunity to come and pick their brain and learn from them. I suppose there's just talking to a few boys around the club, I was convinced and excited that it's a good period we're going into, and working really hard to turn things around. Obviously, it wasn't here last year, but it was a bit of a tough one. But heard more than enough and seen enough that suggests that it's looking positive, and can't wait to get in the games.
Absolutely. I think one of the main attractions for us, and we saw a bit of it last Friday when you did half an hour or so of a game simulation out at Greenacres, was your ability to get up and go 2 or 3 or 4 times, 4 tackles in a row, 3 tackles in a row at a stoppage was something that you don't see that often in the SANFL, to be honest. But that drive and relentless inside mid constant pressure was outstanding last Friday, I thought. I mentioned that to Josh this morning, and he agreed. And we look forward to you bringing that, mate. Now, the quality of the squad, I mean, we have some good young fellas. We have a really good mix, I reckon, of older and younger and more experienced. But you being 25, you sit basically in the average age, I reckon, of our squad. We have a lot of under 25s, and we have quite a few 25 and 26, 27s. So you feel pretty well at home, age group wise?
Yeah, absolutely, and I couldn't agree more. As you said, I reckon there's a great mix. So, and no one, from I suppose a socialising point of view, you don't have little groups as well. So the 18, couple of under 18 boys, they mix in really well with your mid-20s, mid to late 20s. So I think there's a great mix of experience, but youthfulness as well. So there's a great energy amongst the group, and as you said, I'm probably sort of in that sort of middle tier. So I've it's made settling in great, and building some great relationships, which I've tried to put a focus on early on.
Now, mate, outside of football, what are you doing? I mean, I know what you're doing, but if people watching this probably don't. Why don't you let them know what you're up to?
Yeah, so I'm doing, I'm helping out with a bit of personal training at the moment. So with a company called Step Into Life. So made a couple of good mates in that industry. So been helping out as an assistant trainer with the group outdoor sessions, which has been good fun. So some pretty early mornings there, which I've become accustomed to, which is all well and good. And when university comes around pretty soon now, probably roughly about a month or a little bit more, I'll continue to do a bit of study. So when I was at Melbourne, I knocked off probably about a year of health science. So I'm looking forward to stay look to stay in that industry, and I might specify in something a bit more.
Podiatry or
potentially podiatry. So still sort of going through a bit of stuff now with the universities, but something along that lines, maybe even nutrition. So something in the health science sector anyway. So sorting all that out at the moment. Obviously with a big emphasis on footy as well. So it's been a good mix.
Well, mate, so far we've loved having you across, and I'm sure we will for the rest of the year. I think what you've done is brought some real professionalism to the football club, which is, probably the key reason that we chased you. We've heard some really good things about the way you train, the way you prepare, and the way you mix and all that, and we've certainly seen bucket loads of that since you got here. So, from me and everyone else, mate, welcome aboard officially. I'm sure our supporters look forward to seeing you once the trial game starts late February, and onwards and upwards.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Greg. Looking forward to it.